Hey guys, what's up? It's Scatter. I'm a gladiator and wanted to welcome you guys to my PvP guide series where we cover the fundamentals of your spec so you can quickly hop in PvP in under 10 minutes. Today we'll be going over the Windwalker Monk. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I will be releasing guides in the future on other classes as well as any outdated information, so make sure that you are subscribed to the channel with notifications on so you don't miss out on any important updates. There will be links in the description below so you can quickly navigate this video, and I'll also have macros in the description as well if you'd like to copy and paste them. Now let's go ahead and hop into the video. For the Alliance, your best race is going to be Human due to their racial will to survive. This ability lets you get out of stuns once every 3 minutes. This gives you the option to run the Relentless Trinket or 2 DPS trinkets for more damage. For the Horde, your best race is going to be Orc due to their racial's Hardiness and Blood Fury. Hardiness will provide you with a 20% stun reduction, and Blood Fury will give you an extra burst cooldown. Do note, however, that the passive stun reduction from Hardiness does not work with the Relentless Trinket. And lastly, for your main stats, you'll be wanting Versatility and Mastery. Versatility will make you tankier and deal more damage, and your Mastery combo strikes will make your abilities do more damage when they are not a repeat of the previous ability. Alright, so kicking things off with the level 15 row, we're going to be picking Chi Wave. This ability will bounce back and forth between targets and do some damage and healing. It is also used to help us with our Mastery passive that we mentioned earlier. For the 25 row, we're going to go with Tiger's Lust. This ability allows us to cast a Freedom on either ourselves or an ally, and provide them with a 70% movement speed increase for 6 seconds. This is very good for kiting, or especially good for getting your healer out of something like Root Beam from a balanced druid. Next in the 30 row, we're going to be picking up Ascension. This passive will give us more maximum chi, more maximum energy, and give us a 10% increase to our energy regeneration. This is great as it gives us more chi to spend and also more chi to pool if we are CC'd or can't reach our target, so that we will have more energy to spend on damage when we can reconnect. In the level 35 row, we have two options here, Ring of Peace and Good Karma. Ring of Peace is what you'll be running in almost every circumstance. This puts a ring at the targeted location that does not let enemies enter it. This ability has a ton of uses. It can be used as a peel, as an interrupt, or to knock someone off of a ledge into a bad spot. Moving on to Good Karma, this ability causes any of the damage your Touch of Karma redirects to heal you as well. This can be good against extremely bursty classes like Marksmanship Hunter or Subtlety Rogue. Just watch out for classes that have immunities to remove your Touch of Karma. And in the 40 row, all three of these options are viable and will depend on the situation. Inner Strength causes your chi spenders to reduce the damage that you take by 2% for 5 seconds, and this stacks up to 5 times. Take this against sustained damage comps for the passive damage reduction. Diffuse Magic will reduce magic damage taken by 60% and try to reflect any magic effects you have on you back to their original caster. Take this against casters, but do be aware if you use this against a Warlock's Unstable Affliction that you will take that dispel damage, so always watch out for that. Lastly, we have Dampen Harm. This will reduce all damage you take by 20% to 50% for 10 seconds, with larger attacks being reduced more. Take this against bursty comps such as Sub-Rogue or Marksmanship Hunter. In the 45 row, we are going to be taking Dance of Chi-Ji. This will give your chi spenders a chance to make your next spinning crane kick free and deal 200% more damage. This talent does a monstrous amount of damage when it procs and will give us some nice RNG burst damage. And lastly, in the level 50 row, we're going to be taking Whirling Dragon Punch. You can use this ability once your Rising Sun Kick and Fist of Fury are both on cooldown, and this will provide us with some very strong damage on a relatively short cooldown. For your PvP talents, all of these will change depending on the situation and what you're playing against. Starting with Grapple Weapon, this ability has a 30-yard range and will disarm an enemy for 6 seconds. It has a relatively short cooldown and is an extremely strong tool for peeling. You'll only really want to take this against Warriors, DKs, Rogues, Demon Hunters, Rep Pallies, and Marksmanship Hunters. Any other class or spec that I did not just mention have abilities that they can cast even when disarmed, so it does not work to run this talent unless you're facing one of the classes I just mentioned. If you don't need Grapple Weapon, you'll want to run Alpha Tiger in its place. This ability causes your Tiger Palm to give you 30% haste for 8 seconds, and has a 30-second cooldown per target. Alpha Tiger is great as it makes your globals faster and reduces the cooldown of things like Rising Sun Kick, Fist of Fury, and Whirling Dragon Punch. Next we have Turbo Fist. This will cause your Fist of Fury to deal full damage to all targets, reduce their movement speed by 90%, and cause you to parry all attacks while channeling Fist of Fury. This is an amazing peel due to the 90% slow, as well as an amazing offensive and defensive ability, since it not only does full damage to all targets, but causes you to parry all attacks as well. This is an absolute must-have against any melee team you face. Next we have Tiger Eyebrow. This makes it to where anytime you spend 3 chi, you will gain a stack of Tiger Eyebrow. You can consume up to 10 stacks and it will give you a buff for 2 seconds per stack consumed. This buff makes your abilities do less damage, but they bypass armor. Take this against plate classes or warlocks with demon armor. Next we have Ride the Wind. This ability will remove all snares from you when you flying Serpent Kick, and it will leave a path behind it. This path will give allies a 30% movement speed increase while they're in it, and make them immune to slows. This ability is great as it can be used to help your healer if they're getting trained. And lastly, we have Reverse Harm. This ability will increase the healing of Expel Harm by 100% and cause it to generate 1 additional chi. This can add to your survivability when you do not need some of the other talents. The Windwalker Monk PVP talents can be a little confusing, so I will post what talents you should take and when here on the screen. I'll leave this up for a few seconds before continuing on to the next section, so feel free to pause this video here if you need to. Moving on to your legendaries, for an offensive option, choose Invoker's Delight. This will give you a 33% haste increase for 20 seconds after you summon your Celestial. This will provide you with a ton of burst, shorter globals, and cooldown reduction for abilities like Rising Sun Kick, Fist of Fury, and Whirling Dragon Punch. This is even stronger when paired with the Alpha Tiger PvP talent mentioned earlier. For a defensive option or just all-around good default option, Escape from Reality gives you a lot of survivability. After casting Transcendence, you can cast it again for 10 seconds and it will have no cooldown. It will also increase the healing of your Vivify ability and refund some of the cost. Your best Covenant for PvP is going to be the Kyrian. The Kyrian offer the Weapons of Order ability, which will increase your mastery for 30 seconds, as well as cause your Rising Sun Kick to reduce chi cost by 1 for 5 seconds, and cause your Blackout Kick to reduce the cooldown of affected abilities by an additional 1 second. This is a very strong burst ability as it has a long duration and helps you get your high damaging abilities back quicker. The Kyrian will also provide you with the signature ability Summon Steward. The Steward will give you 3 Phials of Serenity that you can use to heal yourself for 20% of your max health, as well as remove any curse, disease, poison, and bleed effects. This ability will add greatly to your survivability. For your Soulbind, I'm going to recommend picking Pelagos and taking this path. This will provide us access to the Combat Meditation passive. When you use your Weapons of Order Covenant ability, Combat Meditation will give you a large mastery bonus for 10 seconds, and you can collect orbs that occasionally drop to extend its duration. This and Weapons of Order will give us a massive increase to our mastery. Do note, however, that Combat Meditation is nerfed in PvP. The mastery bonus is reduced by 50%, but its duration is increased by 50% to compensate. Pelagos will also provide us with the Let Go of the Past passive. When you use a spell or ability, you will take 1% reduced magic damage for 6 seconds. If your next ability is not a repeat of the last one, this will be increased by another 1% and it maxes out at a total of 3%. Now we're going to be going down the left side in the Pelagos tree as it is the more offensive option. Going down the right side is a more defensive option, but no matter which side you choose, both of them are viable. Pick whichever side fits your playstyle and comp the best. Now for your potency conduits, you'll want Strike with Clarity and Coordinated Offensive. Strike with Clarity will increase the duration of our Covenant ability Weapons of Order by 5 seconds and also provide us with additional mastery, which is always nice to have as it increases our flat damage. And Coordinated Offensive will at max rank simply make our Storm, Earth, and Fire do 21% increased damage when they fixate on the same target. Both of these conduits will help increase the damage of our burst windows. For your Endurance conduits, you have 3 options. Now this first one you'll want to run in every circumstance, and that's going to be Fortifying Ingredients. At max rank, this causes your Fortifying Brew to give you a shield for 28.8% of your maximum health for 15 seconds, and this will help you survive against very high amounts of burst. For your other 2 options, you have the choice of Harm Denial or Grounding Breath. At max rank, Harm Denial will increase Expel Harm's healing by 60%. This pairs very nicely with the Reverse Harm PvP talent mentioned earlier. And Grounding Breath at max rank will increase the healing of Vivifying yourself by 36% and give it a chance to refund its cost. And this conduit pairs nicely with the Escape from Reality legendary mentioned earlier. Let's go ahead and move on to your general rotation and priorities. First, I do want to mention that in the majority of cases, you will be wanting to save your burst cooldowns, such as Storm, Earth, and Fire, Weapons of Order, and your White Tiger for when you have CC. Before you start bursting, you'll want to make sure you have Rising Sun Kick, Fist of Fury, and Whirling Dragon Punch available, or at least make sure that you'll have access to them at some point during your burst window. To maximize your damage, make sure you generate chi before you start bursting, and make sure that you have some energy as well. If you opted for Tiger Eye Brew, you'll want to use it during your Fist of Fury. Tiger Eye Brew does take a global to cast, so to maximize your damage, you'll want to use your Fist of Fury, and then cast Tiger Eye Brew regardless of how many stacks it has. If you opted into Tiger Eye Brew, you will always want to pair it together with Fist of Fury. Outside of your burst, your priorities will look something like this. Spinning Crank Kick when you get a Dance of Chi-Ji proc, Rising Sun Kick, Fist of Fury, and Whirling Dragon Punch off cooldown, use Blackout Kick procs, cast Chi Wave, Tiger Palm to generate Chi, Expel Harm to generate Chi and heal yourself, Blackout Kick as filler, and Touch of Death targets below 15% health. Now, let's go over some quick tips. Windwalkers have a ton of utility, and how you use Ring of Peace is what will set you apart from other Windwalkers. You can use it as an interrupt, a peel, or to knock someone off a ledge and many other uses. With rogues currently being strong in the meta, if someone on your team gets sapped, it's good to put a Ring of Peace immediately on who you think their kill target would be. This can cause them to waste the sap DR, and if they popped cooldowns, to waste them too. You should rotate Grapple Weapon and Ring of Peace to stop as many Shadow Dances as possible. And that's going to wrap it up for our 10-minute PvP guide. If you liked the video, feel free to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this in the future. And if you have any questions about anything, feel free to ask me in the comments below, or follow and message me on Twitter at ScatteredWoW, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. If you'd like to support the channel, consider becoming a Patreon. Even donations as small as $1 greatly help the channel out. And if you're interested in some of the other rewards that we offer our patrons, I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to check that out. But that's all for today. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.